Here is Barkley, left side, big hole, Saquon Barkley! Uh-oh! Barkley, goodbye! Dunk it in. Doncic, 47!
I'll give him a dunk. On a night you had 47 points, you get the benefit of the doubt.
Moss the back, Karras the snap, Moss the block. Burrow going deep, he's got him! Touchdown! Ja'Marr Chase!
LeBron leaked out, they didn't see him. Here he is down court. It's up and in! Will it count? LeBron James at the buzzer! 23-yard completion. Here goes Taylor. With Pierce in front. Touchdown, Colts.
Curry gets free. Curry puts up a three. Bang! Bang! He ties the game with 6.3 remaining.
Mahomes flushed out again all the way back. Turning the corner. Fires downfield. Caught. Touchdown.
Timeout, SGA. Probing, piercing, spinning, hanging for the lead, and SGA knocks it down with just under a second to go. Hit, throw. Oh, come on! Justin Jefferson, you gotta be kidding. Makes it look so routine. Greatest catch that never existed in NFL history.
Edwards puts up a three. It's good! Anthony Edwards once again. Edwards electricity here in game 4. Here's a first and goal. And he's signaling as he backpedals to the 30. Oh, what a catch! Touchdown, Baltimore!
Is it Francis? Giannis says no! Back the other way, Trent. Giannis inside! At both ends!
Yo, what's up, everybody? Matty Ice here with Profit Props. This is the Sharp Side. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Finally, a winning day yesterday. I mean, it was only 2 back-to-back losing days. We've been doing quite well, but finally a winning day yesterday. 7-5 overall, plus 2.12 units, 2.58 units. Let me give you an official number. 2.32 units of profit yesterday. Now, I did have a few late ads. I believe they actually went 2-1. So the show should have been something like 4-2, I believe. Either way, profitable. Looking to be profitable again today. Now, it is just NFL today. We have a 3-game NFL slate for today. Obviously, Thanksgiving. If you're tapping in, if we're on the roads, whatever the case may be, I do appreciate y'all for tapping in. Happy Thanksgiving. If you're on the roads today, be careful wherever you're traveling to. I know I'll be traveling in about an hour and a half myself. All right, let's get into the first game, Green Bay, Detroit. This is 1 o'clock Eastern time. Jared Goff passing line and Jordan Love passing line, both into right around 230, 240 each. Jordan Love sitting at 232.5. Pretty painted line. Under that line in 3 straight. He had 188 in the matchup versus Detroit earlier this season. Detroit is 16th in passing yards allowed per game. I do believe we saw Jacobs is good to go. Early leans are to the under here. Short week. He had 292 on a short week versus Washington this season. Let's go over here. Gonna go shop this around. Yes, sir. Shall we feast? Yo, Mac, appreciate y'all for tapping in. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. If you're watching on X, drop a like, drop a retweet. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're liking, subscribed. And I don't even really know what goes on in Twitch, so just appreciate you for tapping in. Do you think we get the Packers' run game will help the passing game? I do, but I also think Detroit will hold on to the ball. Not that Dan Campbell will purposely hold on to the ball. I just think they'll be able to move the ball well. And get the ball up the field, which could limit time of possession for Jordan Love. I'm going to have no real opinions on Love's over or under. Going to be, honestly, a difficult game-to-game script. This is indoors. They've got a dome in Detroit. This is in Detroit, correct? Yes, this is in Detroit. Detroit is a 3-point favorite. All games are within a touchdown spread. Drunk by 4 p.m. minus 750. I would bump that number up, or maybe we go buzzed by 230, drunk by 4 AB. But yeah, no, I think I would hammer the 750 for the max. Yeah, we'll be drinking. We'll be drinking. All right, lean. No opinions on Love, actually. No opinions on Love. Let's talk about Goff. Defensive analysis, over in 5 straight. Passing touchdowns, they're 8th. Passing yards, they're 5th. They being Green Bay. Is going to have to go up versus Micah Parsons today. He had 225 in the prior matchup versus Green Bay. How much are we buying into Dan Campbell? Value for sure. Minus 750. That price light. What do we think about Dan Campbell taking over the play call responsibilities? Are they going to continue to look better offensively? I kind of lean towards yes. A very balanced attack. They can get it in the air. They can get it on the ground now. Green Bay defensively is good versus each. I lean over more Goff than I do Love. Wow. Honestly, a large market discrepancy right now. Like a very large one. 11-yard middle available, 240. You get over 238.5 and under 249.5 right now. $249.5's got me thinking I want to run the under. Let's go look at some historical lines. J.J. McCarthy, bum. Jameis Winston, entertaining. Hurts, not scared of him throwing the ball. Bryson Young speaks for itself. Brissett, 279. The only NFL play I had last week cashed. We had one. Rico, appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the retweets. We hate watching the Lions. Take Ions out of the Lions and you get L's. Need that. Need a Lions L. Okay. I might actually run the under 249.5 at a couple books. You've got Prop Builder at 247, Hard Rock, MGM 249, ESPN's 239. Yeah, the market discrepancy for it to be Thanksgiving morning. Definitely like Gibbs. Definitely like Gibbs receiving. Lean under Jared Goff. Let's see if there's some kind of split like that on Love. 232. No, it's a lot closer. 229 to 232. Yeah, we're getting quite the discrepancy in Goff. And I will say I think FanDuel is going to be the sharpest number there. They're obviously writing action for the over on Thanksgiving. A lot of rec money today. I'm going to actually run Jared Goff under 249.5 at MGM. Props.cash, appreciate the likes, appreciate the retweets. And Shakira, appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate the likes and the retweets. Brett, appreciate you as well. Appreciate all the likes and the retweets. MGM. So MGM, Hard Rock, Prop Builder. Those would be the 3 places I would play this. But Prop Builder is like 7 different books. You have Bet Online, Bovada, sports betting. And, there's a lot of skins using Prop Builder. MGM, no, NFL. Lions, Packers. Pardon me, fellas. Fighting a little bit of a sinus infection. Passing yards over under is what I'm looking for. Very bottom. Bam, 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 bam. Got it. All right, good morning. First play. Not exciting. Everybody wants overs, but Look at how the unders did yesterday. Jared Goff under 249.5. Honestly, would be worth checking out like a FanDuel your way. I'm not sure what they're charging on shit like this. Okay, first official play, Jared Goff under. Lamar passing yards under will be interesting. Let me edit this. Jared 1R. All right, Jared Goff under 249.5 passing yards. Prop builder 247.5. Everybody should be able to get 247.5. Let's talk about before we move on, let's talk about attempts and completions here. Jared Goff's completion, Jordan Love's completion is set at 19.5. He's only eclipsed that line, looks like 4 times on the season, 4 of 11. He only had 16 in the prior matchup versus Detroit. I might have some interest here. So there's actually a 20.5 at a lot of spots. Rivers, Prop Builder, FanDuel, Bookmaker. A lot of 20.5s on Jordan Love's completions here. Markets absolutely moved up opposed to down. Bum, 28, 22, 26. I'm going to stay off of this. While his numbers look under, I definitely see a scenario where he's dropping back to pass a little extra tonight. What are they in completions allowed? They've got to be kind of high up there. Ninth? Is it just the recency? I mean, we've got the 28, 22, 26. Yeah, I guess outside of that, the last couple have been good. But again, doesn't pass a lot. Back up, bum. I'm going to stay off Jordan Love's completions. Lean under. Definitely lean under everything Jordan Love. Lean under everything Jordan Love. Goff, I'm already on his yards. I don't want to stack anything else because, Dan Campbell is calling the plays here. So anything's possible. Let's go to the rushing yards. Gibbs, Jacobs, Monty, Emmanuel Wilson has been getting some snap share. What did Gibbs do in the head-to-head? Under in all 5 and a really strong rush defense. I think your biggest fear here with Gibbs is he can bust one 80 yards on one play. Tracy had 88. Dowdle had a $130. Javonte 85. Judkins 94. So there's definitely been some good backs to clear this versus them. However, I think this is one of the few spots where you see things a little inflated just because of the sheer amount of rec money on Thanksgiving. Not saying that there's not a sheer amount of rec money every NFL Sunday, but yeah, I feel like there's probably some extra. I'm thinking the receiving, if you're looking for an over, I think the receiving might be better. I think I'd be afraid to attack the rushing today. I actually do think we will see more Monty attempts. I do think we could see 10. I think they might if they got a goal line look, I think Monty might get a little extra love today. Plus 150 on the anytime touchdown. Not upset with that. I didn't realize Props.Cash added that. Shout outs to them. Props.Cash, if you're listening, alt lines would be sick. You do it for the NBA. Okay, that being said, no rushing over or unders on Monty or Gibbs. I do lean under Gibbs. I definitely lean under Gibbs. Rushing. '11th in rush yards, fairly good rush defense. Now they have been winning a lot of games, which helps. Tracy 62, Barkley 83. That's like his only good game this season. Aaron Jones had 78. I'm more intrigued if we're taking any overs on running backs. Josh Jacobs is probably the one most intriguing for an over. We've got 57s and 58s out there. We got 57s and 58s out there. Looks like MGM has actually moved down because last time I refreshed, this was 59.5. I'm showing 57 on the odd screen now, so let's see. $1 yard off props.cash to unabated. So I'm going to have to go check that line personally. Okay, yeah, I do see the split there. Sometimes they do offer two as well. I'm gonna just go over to MGM and see what I can see here. Profit X, Novig, do they have any kind of decent liquidity out on this? Profit X is at 60, no juice. Novig's at 62. Okay. Rushing yards over under 57.5, 118. I've got to run that. We've got one over. Let me get that out, and then I'll get it in the banner, and we'll move on. I like that to 60 plus minus 135. And I'm very, very excited. For those of you that have access to the website, I'm very excited for what you're about to see tomorrow. I added something fucking sick. You'll be able to track all your bets on there now, and it's going to be sweet. Cool. Josh Jacobs over 57.5 rush yards. Add that to the timeline, and let's move on. Do I want to run Gibbs under? I know it's not sexy. I'm going to leave Gibbs under as a lean. Rushing. I do actually like his receiving today, so we'll get into that. Receiving over, rushing under. Oh, wow. This was, okay, yeah. 36.5 is the line I was seeing earlier. Looks like it's bumped up a little bit. I still like it. What is his receptions line at? Man, why isn't this just 5? 4.5 is super, super juiced. Look at his targets the last couple weeks. I do think we're going to get similar amount of volume out of Gibbs today. We've got a 36.5 at Rivers, 35.5 at Bookmaker and Fanatics. 36.5, 112 is the easiest line for me. Just added Josh Jacobs overs, Mac. Just added Josh Jacobs overs. What's the odds on that, AB? What's the odds on 3+ and 20+ yards? Because if you're anywhere near like even money, probably got to be at like 3 receptions, 30 yards to get to even money, I'm guessing. But I definitely like this lay. Definitely like this way. Just out of curiosity. I'll leave it as a lean for now, but I definitely lean over Gibbs that 36.5 receiving yards line. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown as an anytime touchdown look. His receptions, I feel, are just a hair too high. I would play like a 6.5, 120. 7.5 plus money, not as intrigued with. I think that's probably pretty close to efficient. Romeo Doubs. Khalif Raymond is out. Wright is out. Talking skill position players. Laporta been out. Reed's been out. I want to see with Christian Watson this season. Wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver with Christian Watson. This season over in 2 of 5. Targets very sporadic. Last 20 with Christian Watson over in 11 of 20. Really looked bad over the last 15 or so. Jay, appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate the likes and the retweets. If y'all are watching on X, man, drop a like, drop a retweet. Help me grow the brand. I appreciate y'all. Going to be nothing for me on Dobbs. I definitely would be afraid to run the under. JMO looked pretty good until last week with what's Dan Campbell been calling plays now for like 2-3 weeks. 66, 119, 88, and then a dud last week. Another dud. Targets. He had 3 targets. 23 yards versus Green Bay earlier this season. They've got a really good pass rush, which makes it hard for the kind of routes Jameson Williams is running to progress. Would actually definitely lean under here. Obviously, he's got the big play potential. That would be your biggest fear, him taking one, 50 yards in one catch. Maybe a receptions under is the better look. He had 4 receptions on 5 targets in the last game. Head-to-head, which was this season. Lean under JMO's receptions. Definitely lean under JMO's receptions. Not an official play, though. Christian Watson, been back for, this is his 6th game, 85, 58, 45, 46, and 49. 114 the last time he played Green Bay. That was last season. 7 targets last week. 5 receptions. Kind of lean over Christian Watson's receptions. Kind of lean over his yards as well. What's the best price? 55. His longest reception is popular today. 25.5. Oof. This is probably a line that's bumped up, if I had to guess, from like 23, 24 to 25. I'm probably good on it at that price. Yeah, probably good on it at that price. I do like Christian Watson overs today, though. I do like Christian Watson overs. Lean over yards and receptions. Dontavian Wicks. Do I really have anything? No real opinions there, to be honest with you. Anytime touchdowns. If I had to run an anytime touchdown in this game specifically, kind of like Amon-Ra at plus money. Yeah, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, anytime touchdown. Probably my favorite play. Red zone targets have been exceptional. They are 8th in first pass touchdowns this season. He did have 2 red zone targets in the last matchup, so even though he didn't score, the targets were there. Averaging 1.7. Is that on the season? Yeah. Yeah, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, anytime touchdown. Probably the best value of anytime touchdown. I like it at plus money. Definitely do think Monty could get some goal side work, though. I think you could see both running backs score tonight. All right, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there for that game. 2 plays officially. Goff 2+ passing TDs. They are 8th in passing touchdowns allowed. Yeah, real good at home. Okay. Ties right in with Amon-Ra, St. Brown. You know what? This might be easier because you could get a Gibbs. You could get a Gibbs receiving in the red zone. There's a lot of ways to get here. Passing touchdowns. $142 at FanDuel. It's moving up even. I do like him to throw 2 passing touchdowns, though. This just moved to 142. He played 101% of the snaps. How does that work? Yeah, I think I'll run this at just 1 unit, not to win 1 unit, at minus 142. I do think there's some value there. Yeah, I'm going to run this at FanDuel. Lions versus Packers, passing props. Passing touchdowns over under minus 142. Alt passing touchdowns 2+ minus 146 now. Okay. Okay, let me get that out. I do like that. Reducing risk, but I do like that. And then we are moving on. I'm trying to get through at least 3 games in the next half an hour. So it might be a little bit of quick here, but I've obviously got to do some Thanksgiving traveling myself. So moving on to Kansas City versus Dallas. Passing yards. Patrick Mahomes is at 274.5. They are allowing the most, second most in the league. He hasn't played them since 2021. This, I mean, kind of feels like a no-brainer over. I don't want to overthink it. 112 at FanDuel. Yeah, I don't understand why this line is what it is versus this team. I know 274.5 is a lot. I can agree with that. He's averaging 292 in his last 5, however. It's not like they're huge favorites. They're 3-point favorites on the road versus the worst secondary in the league. Noah Fant. Okay, we'll definitely get into that one next. I think I got to run a Mahomes over 274.5 here. Yeah, give me something to watch in that Dallas game. Just a terrible secondary. Let's go look at some historicals. Hurts, 289. Fields. Okay. Running this at FanDuel as well. NFL Chiefs. Yeah, y'all saw that. Y'all saw that. I mean, come on. My FanDuel's acting slow as shit, probably because everybody and their mom's trying to bet. Storch, if you're watching, you got to send that past the leg thing. I'm trying to figure out what that's about. I don't even know. Chiefs, Dallas. What's up, Matty? What's up, bro? Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate you tapping in. Everything I played's down there. Oh, shit. No, it's not. I actually played Stafford 2+ touchdowns, but I'm adding something else. So, just added Mahomes passing yards over as well. Just added 2. Just added 2. Just added 2. Cool. Anything on Prescott? Anything on Prescott? They are 8th in rushing yards allowed, they being Kansas City. 3rd in yards per reception allowed. 5th in targets. 7th in passing yards. Much more difficult matchup for Prescott here. Is CD going to drop a bunch of balls? I think that's what your question mark is there. Did someone request something on Mahomes? Was it like in attempts or something earlier? Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Yes, sir. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Mahomes should feast on Thanksgiving. Yes, absolutely. Did we have a Mahomes under rushing yards was a request? Hurts went over twice. I mean, I don't hate it. The hit rate's kind of crazy this year, though, so I don't have an opinion either side of that, to be honest with you. Pacheco hasn't played in exactly 1 month. Pacheco hasn't played in exactly 1 month. Now it'll probably be a split backfield. Probably going to have no opinions there. Javonte Williams, the line looks low, but they've been really good defensively. Rush yards, what did I say? 8th, 4th. Oh, that's attempts. Yeah, 8th in rush yards allowed per game. Let's go look at some previous. Now, the offense has not been able to stay on the field. I will give you that. Held Jonathan Taylor to 58. Some early season struggles, but since then been very dominant in the run game. Probably going to have nothing for Javonte Williams either. Receiving yards. I think your best bet for Kelsey is to try to get like a 50 plus live. I think your best bet for Kelsey is to try to get like a 50 plus live. 57 and a half, I'm not so interested. And I'm not so interested in that receptions line. Now, I know I'm through the roof on Mahomes passing yards, but I feel like this line's a little too inflated. If I can get something live on it, I will. But at the current prices, I'm not that interested. Rice is probably getting you 100 today, though. Rashee Rice is probably getting you 100 today, though. And I do like the over 6.5 receptions. Yeah, Rashee Rice is probably going to have a lot of volume. Exactly. Outside receivers versus the Cowboys. Worthy yards, yes. Yes, worthy yards. Stewart says he loves passing yards ladder. Love passing yards. Oh, for Mahomes, I could see that. At first, I was thinking Jordan Love. Unless you're talking about Jordan Love. I'm not on the Jordan Love overs. Worthy and Rice would both be what is Worthy's line? Kind of like Worthy over 18.5 longest reception. 8 targets, 7-7. Is Rice 100 and touchdown worth some action? Honestly, bro, I don't hate it at all. Yeah, I think it is. I think we're definitely going to see, the red zone targets. Let's circle back to Rice real quick. 4, 2, 0, 3, and 4. Like, that is really good red zone volume. Hasn't scored in 2 weeks. Like, yeah, bro. I definitely can get behind a Rashee Rice over touchdowns and yards. Anytime Tutter, 100 plus yards. Yeah, I could get behind that. CD been dropping the ball. I don't got as much faith in CD. I like Pickens better. Let me go to the mobile site real quick because like a Pickens under, I don't hate under rushing. I do think they give him some goal line looks, but I don't know if he's going to get like a bunch of rushing attempts. I actually leaned under both running backs yards for the Lions. Under. I do want to shop Pickens 5+ receptions. 230. That's dog shit. I love Pickens to get 5+ receptions if you're betting lays. Storch, we're talking about the pass the lay thing. Love Pickens at 5+ receptions. Worthy yards make sense. Would lean under Ferg's receptions. I just don't know how much volumes he is actually going to get. I think there's value on Kelsey live. I think there's value on Pickens straight up. I love him at a lay, though, as well. What's his longest reception? 25.5. 25th in yards after catch, though. That is a good sign. It's a Worthy ladder day. Pardon me. Yeah, I could see Worthy because like Worthy could catch 130, 40 yards. So then everything else is just laddering. I know his receptions long is 18.5. What's his long on the season? 37. He had a 31 last week, 27 versus Washington. Yeah, I think there's a real world where Worthy has a 30-yard, 31-yard catch, and now basically everything on top is ladder. I lean over Worthy myself. Pickens is the one I keep coming back to, though. And it's hard to, key in on Pickens because you've got Jake Ferguson, who's still solid, and then you have CeeDee Lamb. Denver lit them up. Brian Thomas had one of his only good games. Took him in fantasy. Longest touchdown promo on Worthy. Actually, I really like that. I really like that. I really like that. Worthy yards. Yeah, I mean, I definitely like the lean. Noah Fant, that's another Cincinnati. Worthy plays a lot on the outside. Like him a lot today. Yeah, outside receivers versus Dallas. Even in these games, you know, the targets are still pretty solid. He's had 5+ in 4 straight games. Receiving yards. I might run Worthy, but I do like Pickens as well. I like them both. 38.5, Rivers, FanDuel, MGM. Oh, no, FanDuel's 39. So 38.5, you have Rivers, Hard Rock, MGM. 39.5, you have FanDuel, DraftKings, ESPN. Everybody's basically 38.5 or 39.5. Chiefs are allowing the 8th most to the slot. CD's mostly been lining up in the slot in the last couple weeks, though, or has it been Pickens? What Detroit receivers do you like? I like Amon-Ra's numbers were just a little too high. Like if you want to take the 7+ receptions in LA, I like that a lot. Jameson Williams, I drafted him in fantasy and he hasn't done shit, so that might be the reason I don't like him. And I also like Gibbs to get 4 or 5 receptions, but that line's 5.5. So Amon-Ra receptions is probably the way I go. Yeah, I do lean under the 67.5. That's the best line I saw. One to ladder Worthy. I can't talk you off of a Worthy ladder. Yeah, I think I am going to run Worthy straight. I mean, I think we can get this in 2 catches. This season over in 4 of 5 with at least 5 targets. We talked about it. The worst secondary in the league. Yeah, and I think the Rashee Rice is more noise than anything because okay, yeah, we'll get to that next. I'm going to leave Worthy as a lean, and if you guys keep it out on the timeline, I might run it, I might not, honestly, but I'm going to try to at least get through these 3 games before I got to get on the road. So let's at least move on to Cincinnati versus Baltimore and take a peek, see if anything is jumping off the screen at us. Passing yards, Joe Burrow, 257.5, first game back. I'm not touching Burrow. Someone requested a Lamar under, and I'm sure it's going to look good, but the Cincinnati secondary is like the worst in the league, rivaling Dallas. What do they have them ranked at? The worst, rivaling Dallas. So I definitely afraid to run any Lamar unders. Lamar rushing, he's definitely looked a little banged up since he came back. I guess he had the 36 and then 2 back-to-back where he didn't do so well. What were his attempts? He did have 7 versus the Jets. Happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate you tapping in, Ms. Herway. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the retweets. Happy Thanksgiving to y'all. Yeah, going to be nothing for Lamar here. I'd be afraid to play either side of that. And then Burrow, first game back. I'm cool. Derrick Henry's line is 90.5. Feels high, but again, they're also really bad versus the rush. I haven't played this season, so they've got another matchup coming. This was mind-blowing. This makes sense. You start the season like this, and then all these duds. I'm not playing the 90.5, but I see the path for him to soar over. I'm not playing it, but I see the path for him to soar over. Honestly, Chase Brown with Joe Burrow back. I mean, it's not that Flacco's been really awful by any means. The rush defense was awful at the beginning of the season. They have been pretty solid ever since. The defense as a whole actually has been that way. They were injured early, though. You got to remember the Baltimore defense was really banged up early. Mark Andrews receiving yards. Okay, we'll look at it. Nothing on Chase Brown. No rushing props for me in this one. No rushing props for me in this one. Targets are going to be through the roof. Also, Higgins is out, right? Correct? Concussion? T. Higgins out. Yeah, concussion, right? Yeah. Is it going to be a 20-target game? I mean, it would make sense. That line is just really high. I'm afraid I don't want to run it. Love Zay Flowers like 60 plus today. Love Zay Flowers like 60 plus today. Storch, was that a Mark Andrews receiving yards under request? Because I'd be afraid to approach this one either way. Cincinnati's secondary is so bad. I would be afraid to attack it today. Touchdowns, no, it's not a good value. He does get a lot of the red zone looks, especially with Lamar. So you might get some receptions in the red zone, but I'd be afraid. It's the Bengals run is over. I don't know about that today, bro. I don't know about that today, bro. I don't know about that one today. I know it's if you want to attack Mark Andrews, do it in the red zone. Do it with the anytime touchdown, in my opinion. I know we had a request on Fant. This could be some of your worry. 1 target last week, 28 yards. I could see it, but that secondary's dog shit, dog. Isaiah Likely scoring today? Okay. Yeah, I think one of those tight ends get in for sure. Noah Fant worries me because the snap share and the targets last week. They do have him projected at 3 today. Receptions lines at over 1.5. Chase is back. Yeah, Chase is back today. Now you're down Higgins, though. Chase is back. Now you're down Higgins. Oh, wait. Are you saying no Fant today? Are you saying he's out? I think you meant to say no Higgins. T. Higgins is out, but I did not see anything about Noah Fant being out. I think he's good to go. I would lean over, man, but the snap share last week worries me. 28% snap share is not a good look. No Fant props today because, okay. Let's look at the Zay Flowers receptions over. Would you consider Fant on his over 2.5 first half receiving yards as a pivot? I didn't run it officially, but over 2.5, yeah, I'm not bad. You could just go one reception there as well. First half, one reception. I think what I want to do here is, see, in Cincinnati's got like 3 different tight ends they can run at you. Gesicki came back last week and had a 43% snap share. I'd be afraid to back Noah Fant. He's the 3rd of their tight ends. I do like a 5+ receptions for Zay Flowers, 7+ receptions for Amon-Ra St. Brown parlay. I do like that. Anytime touchdown in here. I know odds are going to be awful for Henry. Yeah, you can't touch that. What are they for Chase? Red zone targets are going to be there. I almost think you got to take a flyer on Chase anytime touchdown, -115 at DK. I got to have one anytime touchdown bet, right? What was the other one we were pretty close on? Was it Pickens? No, it was Amon-Ra St. Brown. It was Amon-Ra St. Brown. Maybe I run both of those. I think I am going to have to run Chase and Amon-Ra. Do I have an anytime touchdown for Kansas City? Honestly, I probably would go Kelsey or Rice. What's Rice? Rice is only -118. -125 at Fanatics, maybe the best price. Touchdowns. So for Amon-Ra, I can get +05 at DK. We'll have to go shop the best prices. First, let's bet almost like George Pickens. All right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to go pick an anytime touchdown in each of these games, and then we're going to get out of here. Packers. I mean, it is Amon-Ra. Packers, it is Amon-Ra. If you wanted to go long shot like Jameson Williams for the longest touchdown, probably not a bad look. But I'm going to go Amon-Ra here. +05 at DK is the best price. Okay, Amon-Ra, anytime touchdown, I'm adding to my card. Kansas City versus Dallas. This is the one where it might take a little bit of time. I know I want to go a receiver. I don't know if it's Rice, Lamb, Pickens. I like Rice's red zone targets. CDs have been very strong in the last 4 weeks. Pickens have been more deep touchdowns. Rice or Lamb? I'm going. Hold on. I'm going to go to the mobile app and see where they rank versus tight ends. Actually, you can do it here as well. Historical lines. Maybe not rank, but they've allowed 2 all season. 3. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, let me go to the mobile app real quick. I'm going to keep it a buck. I don't even know who you're talking about. You're in the weeds on that one. That's a good look, though. Take that for the touchdown Jackpot, because if that wins, retirement home. Okay, Ravens third tight end, but sneaky in the red zone. Okay, I like it. Not a good matchup for Kelsey. Better matchup for Rice. Terrible matchup for Lamb. I'm going Rice. Let's go find the best price we can get on Rice. What's the liquidity at ProfitX? If it's pretty solid liquidity, like thousands, I'll release it there. 5+ for Pickens. 5+ for Pickens. 5+ for Pickens. Touchdown scores. Javonte, George, Kareem, Worthy, Travis, Jake. Oh, yeah, there's thousands. Minus 114 for thousands. I'm playing this at ProfitX minus 114. There's plenty of liquidity. Cool, got that in. And then one last one. I did run Rice. I'm going to run Cincinnati, Baltimore. We got to run Chase, right? We got to run Jamar Chase. I love CTB. Appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate the likes. Appreciate the retweets. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. If you're watching on X, drop a like, drop a retweet. I appreciate it, man. Jamar Chase, DraftKings minus 115. I am going to lay all these as well. I'm going to run a lay. I'll put it out on the timeline. I'm sure there's a boost I can use on it. Bengals, Ravens. Touchdown scores. Chase 115. Got it. All right. I think that's going to do it. Yeah, it is 11 o'clock. I got to get to my Thanksgiving stuff. Let me add all of this in here, and we will be good to go. Is it RASCHEE, I think? Let me recap real quick, and we will get out of here. By the way, tomorrow, back to regularly scheduled at noon, just doing this because of the holidays. Everything I played, Jared Goff under 249.5 passing yards, just Josh Jacobs over 57.5 rushing yards, Jared Goff 2+ passing touchdowns, Patrick Mahomes over 274.5, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra, Rashee Rice, anytime touchdowns. Keep an eye on the timeline. There's definitely a possibility for ads as I'm on my way up to the in-laws, so keep an eye on the timeline for any late ads. Best of luck today. Also, make sure you're safe traveling if you're on the roads. If you're not on the roads and you're relaxing at home, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Appreciate y'all for tapping in each and every day. Best of luck tonight. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Until then, man, let's go.